On this episode, we're discussing terrible flatmates and work wives and work husbands. Are we discussing any pop culture? No, because we actually recorded 2 episodes back to back and we're sick of it. Let's get started.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh my god, where have you been? I have to tell you something.
Girl, bring it. I'm ready.
Welcome to the Call Me Later podcast, where we will cover the personal, the popular, and the peculiar. I'm Loretta Rolonge.
And I'm Annie Steinberg. And you've now been dialed into our weekly call about relationships and dating,
Pop culture and lifestyle,
and friendship and community in the city of Medellin.
No, you need to call me later. Hello? No, pero llámame ya. Hey, call me later.
I have a couple of bad flatmate stories.
Mm-hmm.
I had some more chilled out stuff, like a girl moved in her boyfriend without telling us.
Oh, that's not very pleasant. Okay.
You know, that was a softly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a roommate situation that probably changed my perspective going forward forever.
Oh, shit.
So,
okay.
I'm going to start off by saying this girl, this was in the UK, but she was Colombian, right?
Fuck
For
no!
context. Yes! And she was Colombian.
I would like to apologize for my people already, but okay.
And
Get going.
her mum and her dad were Colombian, but her mum remarried. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually going for the first time ever to fully 100% keep her anonymous. And I will reveal why at the end of the story.
I'm excited. Perfect. That's
Right?
good.
And unfortunately, I think it was really one of those situations. And I'm sorry, it's just a stereotype. But her mum was looking for a sugar daddy. So the mum
Okay.
left the
It
dad,
happens, for sure.
left the birth dad, moved to the UK, and she said, I am suffering never again. Right? So marries this new guy, fine. We then live in a house and she has asked her stepdaddy to rent her the whole studio on the top floor. It was a huge house. But on the top floor, she had her own kitchen and she had her own living room, she had her own bathroom, she had her own everything.
Gotcha.
And then she starts dating this guy. Annie, she moves him in. Which, you know what? He's not in our space. So, like, that's okay. Like, that's not
Because
that
she's
big
at
of a
that
deal.
top studio area.
Exactly.
Is that right? Okay.
Exactly. But then all of a sudden, she's like, hey, we have to have the heating on 24/7 because Michael gets cold. Who the fuck gives a shit about Michael? I don't.
Oh,
Michael's
and
not
that
on the
gets
tenancy
pricey.
agreement. And listen, I'm from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That shit gets hella pricey. And sometimes we would like hear them fucking. And I said, listen, we're at university. If you
It
wanna...
happens, but like you can be discreet about it. Like,
all of these things are totally fine. And then eventually we come to her and we go, hey, about this electricity bill and gas bill that we've asked because Michael has moved in, can we now split it 7 ways instead of 6? She was like,
Right.
absolutely not. That's ridiculous. I said, but he lives here, babe. Babe, he lives here. I don't care. He's not... He's not giving you guys any money just because you're
he doesn't
broke.
live his quads.
Like... And the thing is that she then was like, is it because you guys are poor? Yes, I was poor, but that wasn't the point, right? And then imagine the fucking cheek of her to say that, because obviously like her stepdad was like a CFO or something like that.
Right.
So whatever her rent was, that was being covered. And I said, okay, ask daddy to give you a bit of money to pay for Michael. Shit.
Like if money is such a non-issue, then bring it, girl.
Yeah. And then eventually she was like, I literally do not give a shit. I'm not giving you any money. And if you know me, especially back then, I was a crazy person. I was cracked as a human being.
I'm obsessed with this concept. I mean, I'm so happy you're peeled. I'm so happy you're peeled. But also, I love me a crazy Loretta story.
And I just remember like yelling at her at the top of my lungs. I was like, he even needs to pay, or he can go live in his home. Why does he have to live here with us? And then eventually... she hands over a bit of money. A few months later, we have another bill come through. I said, Mami, tienes que pagar. And she was like, we're not paying. I'm not paying. And then she comes down, Annie. She comes down to my bedroom. I just messaged her on Facebook. This was Facebook days when Facebook was socially acceptable. Okay, relax.
As if you're not still using it, Loretta.
Okay. And then I messaged her. Well, I don't use Messenger. That's for freaks.
Okay.
That's just for freaks. I'm going to use WhatsApp. And... I messaged her, I said, come to my room right now. And then I told my other flatmate, come upstairs as witness. I don't want to hear that Loretta slapped me when I did not, right?
Of course. Yeah.
And then I was just like, he has to pay. Like, babe, he lives here. And then she was like, no. And then Annie, so he works at a nursery and he works with obviously young children. And then she was like, he's just lost his job because one of the parents accused him of doing something to the kid that he definitely didn't do. But then the parent was like, either he pays or we call the police, or either he quits, sorry, or we call the police. And I was like, bitch. And she was like, yeah, so he's on benefits at the moment. He was on job seekers allowance, which is like a little bit of money you get from the government when you've lost your job.
Right. Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, so like he really cannot pay. We'll get him to like pay you back later. And then she started crying. And I was just like, please don't cry because you're going to make me feel like a dickhead. And so then he continued to live with us. And let me also caveat something, Annie. He had a room with his parents, just like the next town over. Right. So he could have just lived there.
He had somewhere to go.
He had somewhere to go with parents that love him. It's not even like I hate my parents. His parents love him. But he just went, why can't he spend half the week with us, half the week with you, or half the week with them? Why does he have to he was getting mail delivered. I said, baby, you live here. And you want us to put the heating on at 4:00 in the morning and we're all sweating. And you're like, no, Michael has to feel warm. He has to feel comfortable. I said, okay.
Michael
cool.
gives me the fucking creeps.
Michael's a freak. And then they go on, they move out, we go all our separate ways, and then they get engaged. And then I look on Facebook a couple of years ago and Michael has logged into her Facebook.
Okay.
And the post says, hi, this is Michael, ex's fiance. Just to let you know, she went into hospital a few days ago. She's dead now. I said, bitch. I said, you're not dead. And then they were like, yeah, so she went in with like a bit of a headache. And then she ended up like going through cardiac arrest. And now she's dead. It's not funny that she's dead. And all I can think is that was the last conversation I had with her. Her telling me, hey, I'm not going to pay you anything. Her bursting into tears in my room. And I was like, sis, I'm sorry. And this is why I've actually decided to keep her anonymous this one singular time. Because rest in peace, babe. You know? Don't be coming from my spirit from the afterlife.
You can't see me, but my jaw's on the fucking ground.
No, it was crazy. It was crazy. I was like, bitch, you are not dead. And she was like, yeah, she's dead.
And she was like, yeah, I am.
she's like, yeah, I am. I've died. And all I could think to myself was, because she was just so, and I found it strange because she was so persnickety about money, even though she had loads, because her stepdad was bankrolling her 24/7. But she was just like, yeah, no, I'm not paying this, but I'm moving in my boyfriend. I love him. And I'm like,
oh my God.
No.
Did you end up moving out, or why was that the last conversation?
So like we were just about to move out. It was like coming to the end of the tenancy agreement. You know, like you get that last huge, imagine the heating being on, Annie, in the summer.
No. That's insane. That's actually insane. No.
And I was like, hun, we got to split this £300-400 bill some way. Like, I'm not sweating you over 10 little pounds. I'm sweating you over hundreds of British pounds here.
No.
And she was just like, yeah, he's not going to pay. And then he's not done this thing to this kid that they're saying. And I went, if you've not done the thing to the kid, why not fight it? Why are you so scared for the police to get involved? So now I'm living with a...
Freaks me out so much.
No. I don't know if I could live with someone again, if I'm going to be really honest with you.
Was that your last roommate scenario?
No, it wasn't. I've lived with a few other people after that, but those ones were nicer. Like I lived with my homegirl, Catherine, you know, I lived with a couple very cool people. It was fine. You know,
Catherine was your friend that visited recently, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so I lived with Catherine for a couple of years. All of these things were fine. The worst that's ever happened is a different flatmate. She moved in her boyfriend, which was okay, but then they would like monopolize all of the social areas of the house. Yeah. And I don't know. And
you're like exiled to your room.
Yeah. And you're like a prisoner in your bedroom. And sometimes they'd be like, she'd like walk around naked because she's like, yeah, well, it's just you and my boyfriend. So I feel like I can't be naked. Yeah. Because your boyfriend's here.
No,
I
don't love that.
No. But that was probably the worst of it.
I had my fair share of roommates. I think at one point I did the math. I think it was 23 different roommates
Oh my
of
god.
like 19 different nationalities, if I'm not wrong. I did it for like a international student presentation at one point.
Yeah.
So I had to like tally it all up. Um, I would say like 99% of the time I got really lucky and I've adored like my roommates that I love, right? Like capital Love. I had a couple of psychotic ones, Loretta.
Oh,
Oh my God.
baby.
They will break you to the fucking ground.
No, they will. No, they will.
I had an absolutely insane one. She was half Dutch, half Canadian. We became friends in school. In our first year of university, we both wanted to do exchange. And so you typically have to apply in your second year of university to go for your third year of university, right? That's kind of like how it works out.
Yeah.
And because you have to apply at the beginning of your second year, that means that essentially your professors from your first year are the ones that have to write your recommendation letter. And she heard me approaching one of our teachers. She was one of our professors. And she heard me that I was asking for a letter for my application. And so she came up to me and she was like, oh my God, I really want to leave as well. At this point, we were only kind of like simpatico classmates, if you will. You know what I mean? Like we're in the same class, with like smile at each other. We were acquaintances, exactly. Like there was a good vibe there, but that was it. I'd never hung out with her. And we started chatting about it, and she tells me how like she's learning Spanish, so she wants to go to Spain. I was learning French, so I wanted to go to France. And she's like, oh, I'm just like really scared of like going alone. Like I would love to have a friend to go with. And parallel to this, as I was finishing my first year, I had issues with my French teacher in university. Really bad issues, like horrible issues that led to me having to like put in a complaint. She got suspended.
Oh.
Which I think the suspension was a little bit like it was an over. In perspective, it's been how many years? That's 2000. It's been 16 years. I cannot say I was shocked that she actually got suspended because it was. I was like, holy fuck. But she was horrible. She was horrible to me, and she did many things that she shouldn't have done. But it was honestly just like horrible. Like she was a bit of a bully, I would say.
No.
And so when I put in my complaint, I went to the French department at first. And she got told that I had gone in to put in a complaint, which I think was like a terrible breach of like confidentiality.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I was a little scared that at this point, like essentially all the professors in the French department, because it was a small department, and I was like, they probably all know that I was a fucking bitch that snitched, that she was a horrible professor. Yeah. And so I was like really second guessing going to France, or like I was second guessing continuing in French and going to France after that. Because yeah, I just didn't want to be like hated by like my professors for the years moving forward. And I was like, okay, well, I already speak Spanish, so I'll be fine in Spain. And I love Spain, or like I love the idea of Spain. I hadn't been until that trip. And so, you know, slowly but surely we kept talking about it. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let me come along and like I'll apply for Madrid instead. And so we end up going to Madrid for the next year. So that's my second year of university. We're planning Madrid. We're talking about it all the time. My current roommate meets her as well. So like she starts becoming more of a friend, right? And I remember my roommate being like, oh, you're gonna fucking hate living with this bitch. And I was like, no, it's fine. Shout out Leonie. Leonie called it. I love you, Leonie. She now lives in Australia. She's engaged. She's gorgeous. She was British though. I visited her in Leeds. Yeah. Oh my God. Honestly, one of my favorite roommates ever. She was so fucking funny. And so, but she kept saying like, no, you're gonna hate this girl. Like I remember we went out for sushi once. And Leonie wasn't like grabbing the chopsticks properly. And she was like clapping. No, like so. And she would grab the chopsticks and show her. And I was like, she can grab a fucking fork if she wants to. You know what I mean? Like she was just like correcting her, very like passive aggressive, but she wasn't that way when we were alone. So I was like, oh, I don't know if she's just like a little awkward. Like, does she not know how to deal with like groups or like other people or like social dynamics? I kept kind of like making excuses for her because again, in private, she was perfectly fine. Like there was no issue between us. Then comes around our third year when we go to Spain finally. My dad very sweetly paid for our hotel stay for the first week so we could look for a place. Because essentially, I wanted to find a place before we traveled. She wanted to find one when we were there. And so we kind of like agreed that it was fine. And then we'd look for a place once we were there. We get to Madrid. We start looking for places. Her budget at the time, I think this might be wrong. This was 2013. Her budget was, I think, 300 euros.
She's going to sleep on the street.
Exactly. Thank
As
you
a
very much, Loretta.
European, she's going to sleep on the street.
I'm so glad you're saying it and not me. And so
Movie was great.
essentially, she not only had the 300 euro budget, but she also wanted a balcony where she could sit and drink sangria while she people watched. So she had like this whole like dream of like what her European life had to look like.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, no budget to accommodate it. And so we kept searching and searching and searching for places. The week expired and she was like, well, we haven't found a place. You have to ask your dad to like give us another week here. And I did because I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm a dumbass. So I was like, Dad, I'm sorry, but we don't have a place yet. We haven't found anything.
Why didn't she ask her dad?
I literally, and like she was wealthy, Canadian wealthy, you know, like she could have, but like whatever.
Oh, okay.
And so we do that. We'd stay at the hotel a little longer. We're still looking for places. I find a couple of places that kind of like fit the description that she's looking for. However, we had to share with more roommates because like she wanted a place for just the two of us.
No, 300 euros.
Not an option. Well, she wanted like a 600 euro place, if you will, right? Like 300
in Madrid. 300.
Girl. This is correct. This is correct. While all of this is happening as well, because we've gone into the next week, university has begun, right? So like there's like the orientation and the programs for like the Erasmus, like exchange students, all of this stuff. And she's like, no, we can't go until we have a place. And because, again, I am a dumbass, I think that was the last year of life in which I was really dumb. I'm still a little dumb, but that was like my dumbest time. And I agreed. I agreed to everything, Loretta. I look back on this time in my life and I was like, what the fuck was happening to me? Like, I know she was very manipulative and very like skilled in the way she did things. But also, why did I fucking fall for it? I don't know. Anyway, so I missed orientation. I missed meeting a bunch of people, which would have been like a good time to which was an important time when you're coming into like a new country, new university, everything.
Yeah, it is.
And then we finally find a place, not exactly in the location that she wanted, unfortunately not with a balcony, but it did have like a bunch of other things, especially the fact that it would just be the two of us. And we were down the street from some girls that I knew that were already doing exchange there. So that was helpful because like at least we were kind of like close to other people.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to pay like, I think it was maybe like 450 and she paid 300 so that we could finally settle on a place. But I was like, I need to live somewhere. I need to like get started. I want to like go to university and start my life and everything. So we do this, we get, you know, like we start trying to have a life. This is the year of like the economic crisis. So like, you know, like Greece, Italy, Spain, they were going through like a big like economic crash. And with it came a lot of strikes, right? So there would be like strikes from people in different industries, but because our university was public, they would support the strikes and they would go on strike as well. And so we had no school, right? So for, I think the 6 months that I was there, I went to class maybe 3 times. That was it. Like constantly the university would just shut down. So my life became just being kind of like at home with her, which was being at home with like a terrible person, right? Okay, so I had a friend that was already living there. We went out with her one night. We were in the taxi to the club, and because they were both like born and bred, if you will, in Ottawa, she started asking her like, oh, so like where do you guys live? Like where do you live? And she said which neighborhood she lived in Ottawa, and she was like, oh my god, that's so sketchy. And I was like, girl, like it's one thing when you're like university students and you're talking about like where you're living, where you're renting, all of these things. To call like your mother's house, like somebody's mother's house, sketchy.
Yeah.
I'm like, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? So I remember seeing that and I was just like, what the fuck is up with this bitch? But I couldn't like fully verbalize it. Like I just remember being like, oh, that was awful. But also she used to be very direct and she kept like saying that it was because she was Dutch. So she was like very mean. But she'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm Dutch. That's just the way we are. And I was like, nah, girl, I know they're Dutch people. You're terrible.
Yeah,
she was the worst. Yeah. She was the worst of the lot. I've met a lot of Dutch people and she's still the worst. Some of them are awful. Yeah. But she's still the worst. Yes. So she becomes a part of this friend group and she starts making fights happen. So she's telling, you know, like this one guy we were taking that taxi with had a roommate. She makes them fight. She says that one has said something about the other. She's, you know, so like my world around me is kind of like collapsing and there's like a lot of weird things happening. She would also treat me with just sounds. I can't explain
what do you mean
this.
Sounds.
Exactly. She wouldn't use words. She'd be like,
No. No.
Not the kisses at the end. I don't know why I blew kisses. She would never blow a kiss at me. I wish she would have been nice.
I'm gonna put my hands on you. You
I'm putting my own.
Am
so
I
I
a
can feel
dog?
it. Exactly. No. She literally. So and like for example, so I had the habit. My bad, I guess. I had never had like in-unit laundry. It always like at school, it was always like, you know, in a basement or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would finish laundry. I would close the laundry machine door.
Open.
And I didn't know. But like, instead of just telling me like, hey, by the way, just leave, she would literally, I would be sitting at the kitchen table. She'd be like, hey, and like open the door.
No, I would cut her up and put her in the washing machine.
Loretta, I was so like weirded out, but like I couldn't like fully verbalize what was going on at the time. She was horrible. She was mean. Everything was an issue. Everything was a fight with her, and I kept getting like smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I couldn't fully put my finger on what was happening. I think that was the first time I had a depressive episode. I think it was very connected to what was happening with her. And I just like all of a sudden had like no interest in anything. I had no school. I barely had any friends left because of everything that she'd been doing. And so I'd just be like in my room and I had like no desire of anything. And I remember everybody would be like, oh my God, how's Madrid? Is it amazing? And I was like, no, I hate it. And the way that she kind of like manipulated me, I would tell people about like just being upset and like not liking the situation. And they'd be like, you have to leave. And I was like, no, I can't leave her. Poor thing. Like she needs me. She doesn't speak Spanish that well. She needs me. Because like she had brainwashed me so much into feeling like I had to be there for her. And like we had committed to this trip together that I felt like I couldn't leave because like, you know, like I would be committing like a terrible like abandonment crime or something like that.
So I haven't been in a situation like that because when I have found myself kind of in a situation like that, like maybe you 10% into a situation like that, that's when I just get crazy. And so I'm going to give you some advice, right?
I'll take it. I'm so ready.
An advice podcast. So I have a childhood friend. When she was at university, let me tell you exactly what happened. She lived with a group of girls and she'd lived with them from her first year at university. Traditionally, university in the UK is 3 years, sometimes it's 4. And so from the first year she lived with them, second year she lived with them, third year she lived with them. In her first year of university, she casually saw a guy. Nothing too serious, but there were some feelings there. They broke up. And then flash forward, she then lives with the same girls for the next 3 years. And one of them is like always going off to hotels and like always like sneaking off and blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then to the point where my childhood friend is like, who are you seeing? Like, who you seeing? And she was like, don't worry about it. And then eventually this girl that she's living with approaches her and she says, hey babe, the guy and I can no longer afford a hotel. So he's coming to sleep in this house. So I'm just telling you, it's Jeremiah. Nope. I don't know what his name was. So I'm telling you, it's Jeremiah that you used to date.
Sounds like a Jeremiah to me. Yep.
And that's why we've been staying in hotels, because we didn't want to tell you, but like I've been fucking him for months and you know, he can't pay for a hotel this time. So he's coming here just so you know. And so my friends, and let me tell you, this is the level of crazy that we both are, because her and I are actually, you know, not sane people. So she goes to her. So my friend goes to the flatmate. Hey, okay, like no worries. That's fine. Like, thanks for telling me at least. And then a few days, maybe even a few weeks go by. And then she's like, my friend's very buddy with the flatmate. She was like, oh, like, do you have any milk? Like, you know, normal casual things. And then at one point she calls in the flatmate. She goes, hey, Sophie, can you come into my bedroom for a second? And then Sophie's obviously like, oh yeah, of course. And what my friend had done, she had gotten a bucket of ice water, poured in a liter of oil, waited for Sophie to come into the room, threw the ice cold water over her, and then punched her in the face.
What?
And then punched her in the face. And she went, don't you fucking ever think that you can do that to me. And I stand by my friend wholeheartedly in that situation.
Honestly?
Because,
amazing.
Like, how could you? We need to bring back, like, Singapore has just brought back caning and whipping people for, for crimes. And I think that we need to bring back, in some specific instances, beating the shit out of people. And I am a pacifist.
No, I get it.
But because Annie, imagine the fucking cheek of that. Imagine the cheek of, okay, you're sleeping with a guy that I used to sleep with. That's already our girl code is in the garbage, like, and you know
exactly.
And then imagine
if they've been roommates. How long was it? 3 years?
3 years. 3 years.
No,
3 years.
I hate this. No.
And then imagine you've not even come to tell me, because listen, sometimes you can't control who you fall in love with. Sometimes I think that you can, but you can't control who you fall in love with. And so you've started dating him. You don't come and tell me at the beginning. You come and tell me once suddenly you're feeling the financial pinch. That's when you're coming to tell me. No, she needed
when you can
that.
no longer afford to lie to me.
Exactly.
Wild.
And so I wonder if that's what you would have benefited from. Maybe you did not need to punch her, but maybe you needed to do something crazy. Maybe you needed to wee inside her milk.
I definitely should have like bitch slapped her for sure.
Yeah.
I think what got me out of it, what like awakened me, to be honest, I kind of like try to have one more conversation with her, and she's like a raging bitch again, and I was like, I'm out. And finally, like my eyes, the veil lifted. I was like, I'm the fuck out. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I go on like, you know, like the apartment pages, whatever. I find one. I visited. It's an apartment with like for 7 girls, so 6 other girls and me. Loretta, it was a shit show, that house. I loved it. Like the moment I walked in, it was dirty, it was messy, it was disgusting, if I'm being honest.
It was my home.
It was insane. And I was like, oh my God, these girls are so like I do need cleanliness, right? But I was like, they were all so nice that I was like, I will be safe here. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, this is like, I will be okay. And so she had a trip that she was going on that weekend, and I literally, like an abused wife, I packed my shit while she was gone. I was like packing frantically, and I left that place. I had a friend come and help me. Literally, you know who this friend was? Like a 50-year-old man, because I had no friends, and so my parents like hooked me up with friends of theirs that lived in the city. And so he was my friend. That's so sad. But I called him and I was like, it's now or never. And so he came with a car, and like I packed my shit and I left.
Now or never, baby.
I moved to this other house. However, I have to say this was March, or like end of March. I had paid in advance for the apartment. So I was like, this is still my storage unit. You know, I don't live here, but this is still my bedroom. I kept my coats in there because it wasn't winter anymore, you know? So I was just like, I'm good. And so I had my door closed, and I was like, you know, she might as well think that I'm in there. She knows she's not allowed to open the door, because I fucking told her a million times, please don't open the door. Just the moment that I left that house, Loretta, I was able to like breathe again. I was breathing, and I had friends again, and I was able to reach out to like these other girls from like the other apartment, fix things, you know, like it was a way better time for me. She messages me and she's like, where are you? Are you not home? Like, did you move out? And I was like, kind of, like, I'm in a better place is what I said. And I'm feeling a lot better. However, all my stuff is there. So please like respect my room. Cause like it's still my room. I have, it's all paid for. I didn't change anything on the lease. Just like, please don't use that bedroom. So I heard from one of the other girls that she texted her that I was in a psychiatric hospital and that I was like taking time off from reality. Because I was that crazy. This girl read me the text while she was sitting in my new living room. And I was like, well, sure. I mean, sure thing.
I mean, next time, I think you need to choose violence. Yeah, you need to choose violence next time. Because I often choose violence, at least verbal violence. Right? I've made roommates cry before. Like,
you are the icon, Loretta.
Yeah. I will step on your neck emotionally, and we thank the Lord that we now live alone. So
we do live alone. However, how do we feel about working alone? And are we missing out on having a work husband or a work wife?
I have had a few work husbands over the years. I haven't had one in a few years now because my work husband was disappointing me more than a normal husband could. And so
no, that's a half-ass rule then.
Yeah. And so I think it's perfectly acceptable to have a work husband or a work wife if you're single and you have no other entanglement. I also think it's acceptable to have one if you're in a relationship, as long as there are clear boundaries with your work husband and your work wife.
Do both parties have to be single?
No, they don't have to be.
Okay.
But you better draw a very clear line in this. So for example, I have another friend who I'm also going to keep anonymous this time.
Oh, look at you, Loretta.
I know I'm growing. Fear of being sued.
Oh my God.
But also it's because it's my friends. The other people are ex-boyfriends, so fuck them.
Also, it's a podcast growing. Pew, 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 pew. Thank you very much. We're so suable.
And so my friend, for example, her fiance, works a job. I'm not even going to say what his job is, but he works a job that is traditionally medium to high level intense. And there's another girl that he works with, Annie. He's forgetting that he has a fiance at home, I'm telling you.
Oh, no.
For example, por ejemplo, he texts my friend and says, hey, babe, a few of us have gone out for drinks. And she was like, okay, cool. Later in the night, hey, babe, we've all decided to crash at Hazel. I think that's actually her real name. Hazel's house, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And so he's come home the next morning, and my friend said, "Why didn't you just taxi home in the middle of the night? Why did a bunch of you choose to sleep here?" That's when he
Yeah.
reveals he used the word "we are going for drinks" and "we're all sleeping over at Hazel's house," when actually it
Because
was
we is the house owner of Hazel's house.
yes. Whereas "we" is singular. No one else from work went for drinks, just the two of them. They both got super drunk. And then he slept at her house, right? Not we, like he texts my friend. Not we, because he said we like a group of us. Like a group of my
it
colleagues.
sounds like all of us are going out. Yeah.
He said in the end, he was like, yeah, so it was just me in her home. What would you do in that situation? Because this is his work wife.
Oh my God, I just hate that so much. I absolutely hate it. I think also just the fact that it's important for him to have some comforts, quote unquote, at work. Like it's so important for you to have work friends, to have people that you can chat with, to have people that you can like blow off some steam with. However, but no, this is totally disrespectful to her, and he has a fiance. Like it honestly goes on him more than on her. Her only boundary is being just like, okay, I'm out of this. That's the only boundary you can set.
She has a boyfriend as well. Boyfriend was not.
Okay, well, the story is layered as fuck. Wait,
she has a boyfriend as well.
No. The work wife has a boyfriend.
The work wife has a boyfriend. Yeah.
I thought you were afraid I had a fiance and a boyfriend. I was like, okay, now.
Not a throuple.
I was like, this is so layered. Okay. So she has a boyfriend as well.
Yeah.
They don't live together, I assume.
No, and she was just like, my boyfriend's kind of a loser. It's kind of just like a, he's there for the moment vibe. And
right, that's what she says to this guy.
I will then add a third caveat, which is that fiance admitted to my friend directly. He was like, I actually kind of have a crush on her, and so he admitted this before, and then did the lie about, oh, we went for drinks.
I'm out. Loretta, I'm out.
Do you think you could accept that?
I'm out and I'm keeping the ring. Fuck you.
Do you think you could accept that? I don't know.
No.
I don't know if I could hack that.
I can't.
As I said, no, I don't think I could. I think that would cause me, and I remember mediating between the two of them, like on a Saturday, the Saturday morning, literally the day he came home.
Right.
Because my friend was fuming. And she was like, next time you sleep at her house, you need to stay on the phone with me all night. And then he was like, I'm not going to do that.
That's so crazy.
Just
take the taxi and come home.
That's what I said. I was like, what? Because that's the real question. It's like, why didn't you just come home, babe? Like, what were you doing? Like, even if it was 4 o'clock in the morning, you own this house, you have a key, right?
Yeah.
Why did you? And he couldn't give an answer. And I don't know about you, Annie, but that drives me fucking crazy. When a man does something so fucking dumb, like when a man cheats on you, like when he fucks your sister or something, and then you ask him why, and he's like, I don't know. That would make me angrier. That makes me angrier. At least say that, oh, Loretta, you weren't treating me well, you weren't ignoring me.
Right. Come up
at least
with
tell me something like that. But to tell me I don't know, like I'm gonna be Adam Driver on the set of Girls. I'm gonna be picking up a chair and I'm gonna be WWE breaking it over his head.
Over little Lena's head.
No, I'll be breaking it over his head. I'll be going crazy.
No, there's no, honestly, there's no justifying this. I'm sorry. Like, I can't see a scenario where this is okay. Unless, honestly, you're that kind of couple where you're just like, yep, what he does out of the house is none of my business.
No.
He's bringing it, there's couples that are like that. We've talked about it before.
No.
I think that no, I don't like it. I think it's disrespectful. No. I think the only reason, because like, for me personally, the connotation attached to like work husband and work wife is that there's a little flirtation there.
Oh.
Because I've heard of like, oh, like your work wife is not a 65-year-old woman.
It could be.
Is it?
It could be.
I think that's not how they. Nah. I mean,
that's
it could
not how
be.
That's done.
Am I being ageist? But I think you know what I mean. It's not like the nice, sweet lady that's bringing him like leftover Thanksgiving food.
Yeah.
That's like your office mom. I love an office mom.
I've never had one of those.
I've had a couple. But like that's one thing. But like a work husband or a work wife, like the person that you're excited to see the next day, that you're like jittery about like getting to see the person that you're dressing for. Let's be honest. Sometimes we're dressing for somebody
No.
else. That is because I'm work husband for me is the step before like work secret boyfriend. And how do I know? I
Babe.
did it. And it
No,
was nice.
babe. Babe, I don't think I could hear that. I don't think I could hear that. And I'm a medium to, I'm in the normal range of jealousy as a person. So, for
Okay, yeah.
example, you as my partner, you can go and sleep over at someone else's house, right? Go with
Yeah, I
like
don't
your
have a
good
problem with
friend.
that.
I don't care, right? Go sleep at their house by all means. But if you come into my home, right? If you come into Edificio Lucy Conquistadores, which is my old address, don't worry. If you come into
You're not doxing yourself. It's all
no,
good.
no. If you come into my home and you tell me I had sex with another person, just pick between knife, screwdriver, saw, hammer. That's all I have to say to you. And so I'm not, but I don't think I could hack hearing, yeah, so mira mami, a esa chica se llama Jaka. Oh, I love her. Like, I have such a crush on her. You know, I
Mm-mm.
dress for her. I couldn't hear that.
Mm-mm.
Like,
No.
I'm gonna be, you need to call me on your lunch break, the whole lunch
Yeah.
break. Because now,
Yeah.
what if Jaka decides that she wants to risk it all?
Yeah.
Right?
No. I don't trust the concept. I'm sorry. And listen, we've talked about this previously as well. In fact, like as far as like jealousy goes, I don't consider myself a very jealous person, but I think it's also because I don't place my interest on the third person, but rather on my partner. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like sometimes jealousy is very like, oh, he's looking at this girl, she's with this girl, da, 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 the girl, the girl, the girl, the girl. But for me, I'm like, oh, you're not a respectful partner. Okay, bye. You know, does that make sense?
Okay, bye.
Yeah, so like for me, it's like if I see any sort of like inclination to like you not being a respectful partner,
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know. I maybe it's a narcissistic trait, Loretta.
Listen,
Because
I
I'm
think
just
I've
like,
got a
how
bit
could
of
you not
narcissism
be
too.
like? Could you not be the most interested in me? Like that to me doesn't add up. So I'm just like, oh, we don't share interests because like I am my biggest interest,
Like,
and
you
if
don't want me,
I'm not
clearly.
your biggest interest, then we don't. Yeah, we don't have anything in common.
Yeah, I'm not who you need.
Yeah, so I think that's why, like, I think just catching a glimpse of like a guy being like into somebody else is like the biggest turn off for me. So I don't think it gets to that point necessarily. However, I do believe that if you have a work wife or a work husband, some sort of crush is brewing there.
Ooh. I haven't had a work husband in years or a work wife
Okay,
in years.
fair.
And I do find that the last guy that was my work husband, I did actually have a bit of a crush on him, but I was single and he
Of
was single too.
course.
But then I professed my feelings to him. I said,
Yeah.
James, I like you. I want us to go on a date. And he was
Mhm.
like, ha ha ha, I'm not sure if you're serious, but
Oh,
and
okay.
you just know that those first 5 words, it did not end well. But
Oh
he was like,
shit.
ha ha ha, I don't know if you're serious, but I just really totally and completely see you as a friend. Like, you're just so not my type, like, at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then
Okay. Fuck you then. Okay. Let me quit my job real quick. Like,
and literally I was like, oh, because that is probably my superpower, I must say, is that if I like someone, I
uh-huh.
have always told them. I feel nervous to tell them, but I always do. I always go
That
and
is
I
very
tell them
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I've never ever had a crush, and I've done them when you're not really meant to do them. Like a senior
Mm-hmm.
person at work,
Mm-hmm.
bro.
Wow.
Like, and I went and I was like, yeah, I feel like we could, you know. And he was like, most of the men didn't know, Annie. most of the men didn't. No, thank you. But
Which
I'm
is
someone
also
who,
something we respect.
of course. Like, I didn't then go, like, I go on and I now hate you forever after that, of
No, 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 no,
course.
no. Yeah.
But, like,
But
I
that's
respect your
ballsy.
opinion. Yeah,
I like
but you
that.
have to.
Yeah.
Because what is it
Yeah,
Jamila
yeah.
Jamil said? That's not her name. What is it? What is it? What is it Maya Jama said? She
Shoot your
said,
shot.
no.
I don't know what she said.
She said, hearts are left broken because of words left unspoken.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it. That's nice. That's
she
nice.
said that. And so, like, I always tell people, do you always tell
Yeah.
people when you have a crush
Definitely
on them?
not. Absolutely
Oh.
not. Absolutely not. I don't think I've ever made a first move in my life.
Really?
Ever. Yeah,
I made loads.
No. I think the only time I made a first move was that I kissed a guy, but he had previously told me that he loved me. So I was like in safe territory.
Okay. No,
like as far as like me knowing that he liked me, but what the risk there was the religion aspect, and that religion was keeping us apart, if you will. And so I went in for the kiss and ended up dating him and whatever. But I would never profess my feelings.
No, I always do. And because sometimes it
My
works
God.
out.
Am I
Sometimes
approved?
it works out.
Oh my
No,
God.
I don't think because one girl, she came online and she said that she would rather chew a jean jacket than ask a man for his number. Have you seen that? She was like,
Yeah.
I would rather be dead than, whereas like, I don't think I'm gonna ask you for your number. No, that's not true. I've done that as well. Honey, there's not much I've not done. Like,
Loretta,
because
you're my fucking
it means
inspiration.
but it means that things get moving. Like the amount of times where I'm like,
I will
yeah.
like set the table, if you will. You know what I mean? Like I will start up a conversation. Like if I see you looking at me, like I'll make up an excuse to talk. Like I'm comfortable with. But like to fully go on and say that, no.
I was like, you literally have to be like, hey, do you want to like go on a date? Because do you know what the thing is with me as well?
I love that. I want to do that.
No, because the moment I am rejected, my feelings for you die. Yeah.
Yes, that
and
makes
so
sense.
I can move on. So I have found that when I said it to like the more senior guy at work, and he said, hey, yeah, no, bye. He said it in a nicer way than that. I was just like,
but you were like, bye indeed. Correct.
I'm like, bye, great. Like, I'm not going to try and convince you. This is over.
Oh, okay, yeah. Good.
And I feel like it helps me move forward. Because otherwise, like, you could have a crush on imagine having a crush on someone for years. No, I'm too tired for that. I have too much baggage emotionally to then be juggling multiple years, multiple annuals of crushes.
No. That's insane.
No.
That's insane.
I could
That's
never.
insane. No. I will say both work husbands I had, I fucked. So I think maybe that's why. I think the only work husbands that I haven't fucked were gay. And definitely wouldn't want to fuck me. That's it. But the others I did. It escalates, Loretta. It escalates real quick. And one of them was engaged. No, one of them was not engaged. One of them became engaged.
Oh, okay.
Shortly after.
Okay.
I've told this story here before. Yeah, where he like drove me home and he was like, oh, so whatever happened with your ex? And I was like, oh, and whatever happened with yours? And he's like, no, we're doing great. And I was like, well.
No, I think that was
understood.
Yeah, that was episode number 1. My goodness.
And how we've grown. Look at us at 8.
How we've grown. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so I think maybe that's why I have like no faith for it, because I know, and I love the excitement of it. Like I love a little work crush. I love having that person that you kiki haha with during lunchtime, that you kind of like send little like, I mean, I never had Slack because I left corporate before like Slack was a thing. But like you send like little emails to, like I love all of that thing. I love that it's kind of like a little underground and like a little secret kept from the other co-workers. But you're gonna fuck.
Oh, babe.
That's what I think.
I have never shit where I've eaten before, like literally ever in my life.
I shit all the time. I'm just kidding.
I have never ever shit where I work, like literally ever. The most I've done is had these crushes, which I think has only happened like 3 times.
I respect that
maybe 5
so much.
Or 10, maybe 10
yeah,
times.
12, 14.
You know, but that's the only but I don't think I couldn't. I could, because I could not hear that because this is the problem with snaky, slimy, ratty men, right?
Yes.
You know that they I could not ever hear. I've walked into the office and they're describing the shades of my cucaracha. You're describing the shades of Rebecca? No. I will die. Is it called
Rebecca?
Yeah, Rebecca the Arepa.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
Is she Jewish? Rebecca's a very Jewish name.
Rebecca the Arepa? I don't think she's Jewish, babe.
Rebecca the Arepa. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I don't have a name.
My ex-boyfriend named it.
Yeah, that's nice. My tits have names, but not my pussy.
Oh my god, what are their names?
One is called Anna and the other is called Maria. I was young.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, I'm dying.
Yeah.
But I want to hear so much more about this, but I have to go. Call me later.
Definitely.
Call me later. Hello? No, pero llámame ya.